Hey, I'm Sunny D.
And I'm Captain J. And we're the Pot Smoking Moms.
Hey, please do us a solid. If you're a fan of the show, please rate, subscribe, share our episodes, our content, and be friends with us on our social medias. Potsmokingmoms.com is the website. You can find pretty much everything there, or, well, we're all over the place. Just Google that shit.
As per usual, we're your safe space for, where you can get down in session. I think we're ready for our little session now.
Yeah, if you don't have,
I have it
hopefully
right
you
here
do
already.
have something rolled up. You can pause us and go get it if you have to. But we're about to light up.
I got a bong. It's been a minute since I've brought her out.
Oh, nice.
We could actually ching cheers.
Oh yeah, we could.
We haven't ching cheers in a minute.
Yeah, I got a little very convenient one hitter from Jane West. We had her interview air last week. If you didn't catch that, she makes some really easy pieces for,
travel.
Yeah, travel. This is like
practical.
A little pack that you could preload.
Mm-hmm.
It has a little thing you can cover in it. Mm-hmm. Really nice. And
is that the day and night one?
Yeah. So
that's the one she said she's gonna give us for the goodie bags for the pool party.
Nice. Yes. So if you're coming to our pool party,
this
is something you'll get. I'm smoking some Riddler, which is a hybrid from True Leaf. What do you got?
I have a Wedding Crasher, which is also from True Leaf, their Roll One brand.
Nice.
All right. Cheers.
Yeah,
oh my God.
There's still some left. Don't smoke it.
No.
It didn't
Cheers.
break.
No, at least it didn't break. Cheers, Jen. We got Jen in the studio audience again today.
Hi.
Jen hanging out.
We're hanging out with our patrons before the show.
Getting some Olympic statistics from Jen back there, hooking us up.
All right. Oh, excuse
tasty.
Me. Oh, I forgot to put the smoke sash.
Sippity dippity. A lot's come. Oh, you know what reminds me of this moment right now? This is like the end of the summer. School's about to start. Have you seen the meme of the lady where it's like, bam, 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 and she's just like kind of going crazy? Because it's like, oh my God, I gotta buy school clothes. I gotta get supplies. School's going on.
But at the same time, it's also like, yes, school's coming.
Oh my God, for real, dude. I've been, you've
been raw dogging summer,
bro. I've been Camp Nintendo and YouTube over here daily. Luckily for me, my kids are pretty great. Mm-hmm. They're pretty tame. They get into sibling fights occasionally. It happens.
Yeah, of course.
But for the most part, they've been great. I'm ready for me to have some peace while I work during the day. Mm-hmm. Ready for them to go to school. Really excited for them. We got a lot of new things happening. What do you got going on first?
Yeah, we're also getting ready for school, and same in our house. It's been Camp Roblox pretty much. Oh, so yeah. he's dreading school starting again. But he's been in the gifted program for the last couple of years, and then we got contacted by the school, and the psychologist was like, "Oh, we need to evaluate him for gifted." And I'm like, he's already been in gifted, but whatever. So he got evaluated again, and we just found out he's continuing in the program.
Oh, nice.
I'm wondering. I asked him, I go, "Did they ever do this before?" And he's like, "No." And I was like, I think they placed them in there without doing the evaluation. And now they're like, "Oh, we never did this kid's evaluation,"
No.
But we checked online and we saw who his teacher is. And he's excited because he heard that teacher is like a cool and nice, fun teacher. Okay. And the last couple of years he's had teachers.
She got good reviews.
The kids actually seem like they enjoy her class.
Yeah, and you know what? There are those teachers too. Mm-hmm. Some teachers you go, oh my gosh, and just the way you see them interacting with the kids too.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, we got lucky this year. The girls are going to be going to the same school, so
that's exciting. They're going to be in the same school.
Going to be going to kindergarten, and
Sloane's going to be like, I got to look out for my little sister.
Yeah, for sure. Little sister's nervous, which is expected. She's coming from a little school, a little preschool, and then now it's like, oh, this is big time.
Yeah,
big time. You're in elementary.
You're in the big school,
right? So,
do they let you walk in on the first day?
The first day, just
they do
the
for the
day.
Kindergartners only, or everyone?
No, everyone for
really?
the first day.
They don't let us.
But that's it.
you have to drop off. I remember being freaked out having to drop off the day of kindergarten.
Oh my God, they're so little.
I know. I was so scared.
Yeah, we were scared. I mean, we were scared. It was just
It's
one day
scary.
they give you.
I know.
So then you're
we
kind of
went
scared
and
afterwards.
did a meet and greet. So we walked, oh, this is how you would get to your class.
yeah.
But at the same time, like they're learning. But during that first few weeks until they get used to it, they have the bigger kids walk them to
Yeah,
their
they
class.
have that's
little,
really cute
the
too. They have
guard
the
kids.
guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, my oldest used them up until recently.
Yeah.
Really, like she really needed them. She was friends with them, would like talk to them, had specific ones she liked to walk with because she was terrified every single day being dropped off, which is understandable. It's a scary thing, right? You got to navigate on your own. This is kind of the first time you're like, go on your own.
Yeah.
So she was kind of like a little nervous. Since she had VPK, we tested her for dual language and she got in the program. I was very confident too because I was like, girl, you could write your own name. You know all the letters. Like you got this. And so she did, and she got this. I'm really excited. My oldest is like, I wanna do Spanish too. But I feel like it'll be good for everybody, even if one of them is getting some additional instruction in Spanish, and there's just more Spanish involved around. When I picked a preschool for her, I wanted to make sure that there was some Spanish speaking kids in the class and teachers so that it's just around. They don't have to speak it all the time, but like just for them to get used to it and then to
Julian has a Spanish class.
Yeah, that's cool.
Spanish for Spanish speakers. But not only is he continuing the gifted, but then for math, they decided to put him in advanced math, and it says grade 6. So that I'm actually kind of nervous about because I'm like, I'm confident that he's prepared because they're putting him in there. They think he's
you're not confident.
I'm just
in like giving him the
gotta
support.
do 6th grade math homework with this kid,
dude.
and like I don't like they do math differently, and they ask them to do it a specific way and like show the work, and I don't know how to do it that way. And like,
listen, I have a math disability, so I feel you. In these cases, like if this is a case and if he comes to a point where he needs help or whatever, my kid
I need to get him a tutor.
I will have to pay a tutor because I cannot.
I'm actually gonna think about asking maybe Tyson. The Tyson used to tutor my brother in math. Yeah, so like I'm like, do you know a tutor or would you be willing? I just don't want him to be burnt out,
right?
Or be like stressing about school.
Even just having additional support is always good.
And what's crazy, in elementary school, they mostly have the same teacher, but when I was looking online, he has the homeroom teacher and the main teacher for the English like language arts, which is reading and writing, is one teacher, but then it's a separate teacher for the math, social studies, and science,
which is cool too because you get different people involved.
Because soon enough, middle school next time,
every teacher is going to be different.
Every teacher is different. I can't believe my baby.
I know. Senior in elementary school. It goes by so fast. Yeah, it's fun though. I mean, it's like fun because we get to like every year we get to know them a little bit more and they develop their personalities a little bit more. So you see a little bit more of them or you see them find new things that they're interested or new talents. So it's really fun that you get that opportunity. Plus, they get another opportunity to meet new friends. And I actually, my oldest, her whole thing was she wanted to make sure one of her friends was going to be in her class. Or, at least some of the friends that she's used to from the other class. A lot of them came over, but the one specific was there. So she at least has like one of her homies in the class. I got to actually meet her mom and her parents.
Nice.
And
that's important. Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, Julian's been very lucky. He's had the same friends in his class since 1st grade.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And they've been in the class together ever since.
And it's hard because then the middle school, what happens then? Everybody kind of it's knows?
Crazy. Like they're gonna be elementary school best friends, but then they go to middle school. Who knows what's gonna happen?
Another opportunity for
they're
person
gonna meet
to
new
get
people.
Yeah, and then they have to
friends.
Right, they have to practice the communication to keep in touch. Who knows if he does or he doesn't keep in touch with the people? It's like evolving. It's very interesting to be someone watching that happen from the outside and then remembering like
yourself
when you were doing that.
Yes. At that age.
Really interesting.
Oh, our babies.
I know they grow up so it's like time goes faster when you have children.
100%.
Because then now you have another human to gauge your.
We were just talking about today because we drove by the DMV that I got my driver's license at. I was like, oh, that's where I got my driver's license. I got my learner's permit right when you could at 15, 16. 15 you can get your learner's permit. 16 you can start driving. You get your driver's license. Because I had my learner's permit and because I had a car, my parents let me drive to and from work. I'm allowed to do that. So I was able to drive myself to get my driver's license. So I was having that memory, cool. And then I was just thinking about oh my God, in 5 years, my son would be getting his driver's license. That's insane. These last 11 years, he's almost 11 now, have gone by so fast.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Oh, nuts. Are you ready for back to school? Because I'm not. I'm
we went shopping. Actually, right after you said I need to go school shopping, I was like, fuck, I gotta go school shopping. And I was planning to go tomorrow, but I was like, damn, tomorrow I want to go to the beach.
Yeah,
I want to go to the beach. Fuck that. I'm going now.
On the 7th day, we all rested. Yeah, I mean, it's like a fucking scavenger hunt. I've been looking at the supplies and I'm just you can't get them all in the same place. Unless you go to a fucking Walmart. And
I went to Walmart because it's just easier.
Yeah, you can get everything there, right?
Everything's there.
I think that's what I'm gonna have to end up doing.
It is usually cheaper, and they usually have more of it. I feel like Target sells out of stuff faster,
right?
Because they don't keep as much stock.
Yes. I don't want to have to go to 5 different places. Staples, Office Man. Blah, blah, blah. I just want to go get all the shit.
Get it. You know what you should do, which is what I thought I should have done when I arrived there and I saw the number of cars parked in that parking lot, is pre-order it online for pickup. Just buy everything online and just pick it up. It's going to be the same price.
I'm going to check it out.
Yeah. It'll be a lot easier than having to go in.
By any means at all.
I don't ever go to Walmart ever, but Walmart I went for back to school.
To be clear.
I did go for back to school.
Walmart could go suck a dick, to be clear, but when we're down to the wire here, folks.
And we got there and it was packed. Everybody was in the school supply section.
Why you're I don't want to be here.
Damn, I said from the get, as soon as tax-free holiday started, tomorrow's the last day.
Point, right?
Tomorrow's the last day. I was like, bro, we should do this early. There's gonna be better supply of stuff, and we'll get less. Bro, we got there last minute, and there was just so many people.
Yeah, man.
It was crazy.
It's it's really annoying.
By the time this aired, your kids will be in school already. Mine starts on Thursday.
Yeah, that's another thing.
You guys start on Monday. We start on Thursday.
Dade County, why you guys starting so fucking late in the week?
They start Monday for the teachers, I think.
Yeah, well, I think our
the
teachers
schools
have been
actually
there
start
this
Thursday.
whole week because we did the meet and greet.
We literally do the meet and greet the day before school starts.
Oh.
So Wednesday's a meet and greet and Thursday's school starts.
Oh wow, I'm very glad they're considerate. Yesterday was a meet and greet. We have the weekend to decompress before we start school on Monday, fresh and ready at the beginning of the week.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
But yeah, I'm not ready, but I'm ready. It's that weird thing. Oh, also, yeah, these remember when we had the mushrooms 2 weeks ago? If you did not see that show, go back and watch that show.
I feel like if I had only eaten half of the gummy, I would have been okay. But that whole gummy,
the circumstances too. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
you have on an empty stomach.
I had an empty stomach.
Come on, girl.
If you haven't seen, if you only listen to that episode, do yourself a favor and go watch it on our YouTube channel because Jesse, they killed it. They added all the things we said that should be happening. That my head should be in a bubble in space.
Yeah, it was just pretty nuts.
Oh man, it was pretty funny. Okay.
But leading up to that week, I had not been feeling good. I was down in the dumps talking about how much we needed to have the mushrooms or whatnot. But I was dealing with my elderly dog, and I was just coming to terms with it's now no longer comfortable for him to be here. And
it's hard.
It's super hard, and I'm at home all day, so I'm there with him all day. Look, listen, his last 5 years of his life were amazing. I was talking to Jenny in the car about this. The first few years of his life, we had to crate him, and because we worked, we didn't have kids, we were gone all day. We felt really guilty about having to, but it was a safe space. He was safer in there. He was kind of anxiety ridden, and he shat and peed no matter how much we trained him. He just went every time. So we always felt kind of guilty, but then the last portion of his life, we were always around. He was always around us, around the kids. felt really good about the life we gave him, but we had to put him down. So sad.
Yeah.
And we did the
But
thing.
the fact that you did it at home is such a big difference.
You know, it is. It
It makes it much more special that you're there at
Yeah.
home in his safe space, surrounded by all the people that loves him, than going to like a sterilized vet's office and
I know, or like
them being on a table and
I
like,
know.
you know, like
I couldn't even think about having to go through all of that.
yeah,
Because we had talked to you a while back about using, you know, the
lap of love
in-service,
is what I
right?
used.
Which is really nice. If you guys, you know, are ever in this
It is
horrible
more
situation,
money.
it's more obviously, but you get to, I mean, Robert was such, is the best. He had like a slideshow going. It was so cute.
Oh my god, he did like
Yeah, it was really sweet. And then the girls at first, because they were around too,
mm,
we have not excluded them from like um you know, going to the cemetery, and we haven't excluded them from the whole experience of like, hey, this is happens.
yeah, death.
You know, and they've been pretty good about it. They were like, the doctor had come over and she was explaining to us what was gonna happen. He was ready to go. But she was telling me, oh, this can happen from the stuff that they do to put him down and like and put him to sleep or whatever. And you know, because it's like stuff they're putting in him. So anything can happen. They have to, she was so sweet too. They're like really good. And the girls, we were just, me and Robert were kind of like, okay, when is it gonna click for them?
Yeah.
You know, and it was, you know, and then finally they like got it and we all started crying. You know, afterwards, me and Robert were like, thank God our children are not psychos. And they were able to like, we were able to, because we were kind of waiting, like okay, yeah, like, are you guys, because me and Robert were
it looks like they just
crying
went
the
to
whole
sleep.
time.
It looks like they just go to sleep,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like, it's hard to believe they're not there anymore.
Yeah. And so, you know, but also like, you know, you want to experience, you don't want to hide this part from your kids.
No, they have to experience. It's a lesson for sure.
Yeah.
Julian learned when Princess passed, when our older cat passed.
Yeah.
That's when his first experience, and it was really hard for him. But we let him be part of the burial and stuff and say goodbye, and we buried her in the back. And then just recently we had the little kitten pass. Thank goodness he didn't get it too attached to her because he was too.
Well, you guys were already kind of understanding
her.
That she was already kind of sick, and you're trying
we're keeping her separate and like trying to like bring her back, but she didn't do well at all.
That feels like so bad too, because you're like, oh, we're gonna do it, we're gonna save you.
She looked like she was doing so good too. Yeah, it was devastating, absolutely devastating.
Yeah, we didn't even know until we got here and you told us we were like looking for her. But
I know
that's sorry if you're out there and you know it's hard to go through a pet loss.
100%. It's like losing a family member.
Yeah. So I'll be getting a Sunday tattoo really soon.
To Sundae.
To Sundae. Smoke one for Sundae.
Sundae. And Yoko. Yoko was the kitten's name.
Yoko.
We had her for 6 days, dude. It was so sad. All right. So what do we got going on? We got Spliff and Splash coming up.
We're looking forward to this so much. It was kind of like we were talking about it for a while with High Curious. We didn't really know how to do it. I mean, look, we're in Florida. We love the beach. We love the
year-round great weather for like being in water.
Yeah, so we've been talking for a long time about like having a little party by the pool, right? A little Spliff and Splash.
A little Spliff and Splash. I love this name.
I know that name was really
cute.
Spliff
Splash. I was taking a bus. Okay. So we actually found this really cute Airbnb spot in Fort Lauderdale. It has such a cute vibe in the backyard. Totally. It is an evening event from 6 to 10 p.m. So it does have like, you know, some nice lighting outside. It looks like it's going to be real chill. Yes, obviously the ticket includes swimming in the pool. We're going to have a goodie bag. We're going to have dinner, mocktails, munchies, like snacks and stuff. And we're going to raffle off some really good prize items. So, and most importantly is a community, like being around other like minded mothers and like getting a chance to just be a mom and like not be a mom and be yourself and just like have your me time, you know?
Yeah, that's going to be lots of fun.
Yeah.
We hope you could join us if you're local. We have a promo code for you.
I meant to make the code to pop up here. For
podcast. PSM podcast. for 15% off your ticket.
Yes. So you could just go to our any of our social medias, and our link tree has it to the ticket to get it straight to the event. And if you use the code PSM podcast, you'll get 15% off.
Yeah, patrons got a bigger discount, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get a bigger discount. They get told about the event first.
Right.
They had access to the early bird tickets first. They were told about it first. It was posted in our Discord before we posted it publicly.
Yeah.
So
if you're a patron and you want to take advantage of this, let us know. Or if you want to take advantage of future events and stuff, become a patron.
yeah. If you can't be a patron, that's fine. Please support us by just like following our content and rating and reviewing and sharing it. Most importantly, like recently on Instagram, we're only being shown to people that follow us because of us posting about our because we posted about ¿cómo se llama? The episodes.
Yeah,
just
the episodes. Yeah, I don't know. I think if they see like a weed leaf, that's already
no.
like,
I think it was 100% me putting
writing
the
word cannabis.
Yeah, allowing cannabis be in the description, so we just cannot use that word at all. I think it automatically poop. So because of that, none of our content was being shown to anybody unless they followed us. And we noticed we noticed that everything was like lower than normal,
right?
And that's when we found out that our
we
account had flagged with that shit.
You know what though, and it sucks too because it's not like you can get like. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. I mean, obviously, if you pay, Instagram pushes your shit as an ad.
They have no problem putting
There's straight up plugs, fucking advertising on Instagram. But if you don't pay and you just talking about it, and they're like, okay, we can't show your content to anybody. So it's interesting how that works. Community guidelines violation if you don't pay for advertising. So fuck you, Instagram, for that shit.
For some reason, I can't make the banner go away. You see that? Oh, there we go. Wait.
Hit it again.
There. It wasn't turning off for the catching up.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, sorry. So, yes, please share our content because we were being shadow banned and only you guys are seeing it. So if you share it, other people that don't follow us will see it. So thank you so much if you do. That will help us out. Yeah. And I think we're ready for some
news nugs.
News Nugs,
where we get high and read the news to you.
So our first story is NFL moves to dismiss players' lawsuit over penalties for cannabis medication use, saying THC can cause injuries and alienation of fans. What the F? So the NFL and the Denver Broncos are asking a federal court to reject a player's lawsuit alleging discrimination over penalties he incurred due to positive THC tests from his prescribed use of a synthetic cannabinoid. Also, it's not even actually weed, it's a synthetic cannabinoid. In a joint motion to dismiss filed with the U.S. District Court for the District of Colorado last week, the league and team defended their marijuana policy for players, affirming it's their view that the use of cannabis can lead to on-field injuries, poor job performance, and alienation of the fans. What does alienation of the fans mean?
Means that they just want to go smoke and like not be fucking bothered. Which
no, alienation of the fan, or like fans won't like that they smoke.
No, like I understand it. Like you smoke weed and not want to hang with the fans.
You don't hang with fans.
I mean, like, but you do have to, like,
yeah, whatever. And they challenged the discrimination claims from Randy Gregory, who played for the Broncos before transferring to the San Francisco 49ers. Gregory filed his lawsuit in the state district court last month, arguing the NFL and the Broncos violated the Colorado Anti-Discrimination Act, CADA, for penalizing him for using the Food and Drug Administration FDA-approved cannabis medication. It was actually medication, not even actually weed. Dronabinol to treat his anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorder and pain. The case was moved to federal court earlier this month.
The defendants responded by arguing that those claims are completely preempted by the Federal Labor Management Relations Acts, LMRA, and they said U.S. Supreme Court and Federal Circuit Court precedent on collective bargaining agreements demonstrate that plaintiffs' claims under state law must be dismissed. The motion to dismiss also asserts that Gregory's allegation that the NFL and Broncos violated Colorado's anti-discrimination law falls flat because the statute doesn't expressly protect workers from being penalized over marijuana use, regardless of whether it's used for medical purposes in compliance with state law. Accordingly, even accepting plaintiff's allegations as true, the court should dismiss the plaintiff's complaint in its entirety, it says. While the NFL and its players' union agreed to end the practice of suspending players over marijuana or other drugs as part of a collective bargaining agreement in
Yeah, I remember
2020,
that. Yeah.
it has continued to fine players over positive THC tests.
Oh, so they make money.
For the first through third positive test, the fine is half a week's salary.
Wow. Half your salary
That's crazy.
in a week?
A fourth and each subsequent positive test is punishable by a fine equal to 3 weeks' salary.
What?
The league and team
That's
defend. Huh? Oh, sorry.
The league and team defended the current policy, noting that it contains detailed requirements and protocols for testing all players and makes clear that the use of substances prohibited under the policy, including specifically THC, can lead to on-field injuries, to alienation of the fans, and diminished job performance as an NFL player. After NFL rejected Gregory's request for an accommodation to use synthetic THC medication in May of 2023, he paid out $532,500 in penalties. NFL and the Broncos also pointed out in their motion to dismiss that part of the reason Gregory was denied an accommodation to use the THC medication was because it was prescribed for off-label use, as dronabinol was approved for the treatment of nausea and not social anxiety, PTSD, or pain. Oh, wow. Okay, that's stupid. So it's like, oh, it is an FDA approved drug, but it's only for nausea. And the fact that they're giving it to him for social anxiety and PTSD, even though they know it works for that too, it's like an off label use because it's not what the label says it's intended for.
You see why these people make people want to lie? Because you're honest and they still want to fuck you.
For using, like, not even actually like smoking weed.
Right.
It's for using the synthetic version. Like,
at that point, I'd
like,
be smoking it too.
What? Come on.
In some plaintiff plainly seeks to use this lawsuit to avoid discipline and preclude the medical administrators from enforcing the express provisions of the NFL's collectively bargained policy, the filing says. Not only is such a claim inextricably intertwined with the collective bargaining agreement and the policy, and thus preempted under Section 301 of the LMRA, it also fails as a matter of law and must be dismissed.
Okay, we're hearing the whole argument here. Like, go.
While it is taking this position in the lawsuit, NFL itself has committed significant funding to research into whether CBD can serve as an effective opioid alternative.
We had Train with Mary Jane when we had
NFL. And it's also explored the therapeutic potential of the non-intoxicating cannabinoid for pain management and neuroprotection from concussions. A commissioner of the NFL and the league's players union previewed the funding plan in June 2022, emphasizing the strong interest among players and other stakeholders. The joint NFL-NFLPA committee also held 2 informational forums on CBD in 2020.
Okay, so they're good with CBD. It's like no to the THC. So meanwhile, other sports leagues not completely good on CBD. They're doing the research on CBD. So meanwhile, other sports leagues have also adopted revised marijuana policies as the state level cannabis legalization movement continues to spread. The NCAA recently voted to remove marijuana as its banned substances for Division I players effective last month. We reported on that. The UFC announced in December that it is formally removing marijuana from its newly modified banned absences list for athletes, also building on an earlier reform.
Yeah, because they're like, some of these fuckers need to calm the fuck down. Like that Conor McGregor guy or whatever.
And it's good for recovery, like we learned.
Yeah.
However, ahead of a UFC event in February, a California Athletics Commission said they could still face penalties under state rules for testing positive for THC over a certain limit, as the state body's policy is based around WADA guidance, WADA.
Nevada sports regulators voted last year to send a proposed regulatory amendment to the governor that would protect athletes from being penalized over using or possessing marijuana in compliance with state law. While advocates have welcomed these changes, there's been criticism of WADA over its ongoing cannabis ban. Members of a panel within the agency said in an opinion piece last August that marijuana use by athletes violates the spirit of sport, making them unfit role models whose potential impairment could put others at risk. Advocates strongly urged WADA to enact a reform after U.S. runner Sha'Carri Richardson was suspended from participating in Olympics events due to a positive THC test in 2021.
We all remember that. We also reported on back then.
Humble brag. Following that suspension, the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency said the international rules on marijuana must change. The White House and President Joe Biden himself signaled that it was time for new policies, and congressional lawmakers amplified that message.
So that's interesting, and so that actually leads right into our next story.
And it's like all of those people on the NFL are like our boomer parents, who just cannot get on board terms with
cannabis being a medicine,
accepting it, yes,
and that it can actually help their players.
Dude.
Yeah, so hopefully they continue the research and they learn. But that perfectly lined up into our next story, because we're going to talk about Sha'Carri Richardson.
Yeah, it's been all about the Olympics for the last couple days. We've been watching. We've been showing our children.
And enjoying it.
Yeah.
So, my husband pointed out many times, he's like, man, the women are killing it. They're like taking home medals left and right.
Hell yeah.
We're like, how many medals have these women won or whatever? So we're looking it up, and it turns out this is actually the 4th consecutive Summer Olympics where women have won more medals than the men. And this year they've won 58% of the medals. Yeah, they're killing it.
Yeah, we're killing it.
And one of those women is Sha'Carri Richardson. I was so rooting for her to get some gold after what happened to her last time. I was like,
such a boss ass bitch.
She is a boss. That clip of her taking that last.
Yes, and I mean, even just watching all of like recaps from her, like winning all races and shit
throughout. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Wow. She is like, I want to be her. She's so cool.
So badass. So that's our next story. Sha'Carri Richardson rallies U.S. women in Olympic 4x100 while men shut out again. Sha'Carri Richardson, this was a beautiful relay through the rain. The only shame was that she couldn't stay out there to help the men's team win too. Richardson captured her first Olympic gold medal with a come from behind anchor leg for the United States in the Olympic, how do you call that, 4x100? Yeah. 4x100 on Friday, then stepped aside to watch the U.S. men extend their streak to 20 years without a medal at the games. Wow, 20 years. Rough. This year's mishap, however, happened quickly on the first exchange when Christian Coleman crashed into Kenny Bednarek, then actually passed him as they were awkwardly passing the baton. The U.S. was disqualified for an illegal pass. It was more of the same result for a team that raced without 100-meter champion Noah Lyles, who pulled out the Olympics with COVID. What? Pulled out of the Olympics with COVID. Even without Lyles, the speed of the Americans made it their race to lose. They always find a way. I mean, this is an article about Sha'Carri and the woman killing it. Why are we talking about like how they lost?
Well, I mean,
get to compare.
Yeah, right. And you know what? The Olympics is like, oh my God, it's such an amazing thing. Like when you think of all the hard work these people have put into getting there, and like, I had a joke back when I still did a stand-up comedy where it was like, you know, being an Olympian, winning just for years in front of nobody, to lose at the Olympics in front of everybody.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Yeah. Like even just, you know what really baffled me too? The idea of like, oh my God, watching the choreographed, what is it? The choreographed, the synchronized swimming.
Yeah.
Yo, like, how do you even go like, oh, you know what would be really cool? I would love
honestly
to meet a couple of people who love to like do handstands and dance under the water. Like, how do you even organize that?
And I was like, man, I should have done synchronized swimming. I love being in the water and doing stupid shit with like handstands.
I had a pool when I was
little,
and my cousins,
you would always do the handstand contest, right? And it was not just handstands. You were like, oh, this, that, this. You're like doing all these crazy things with your legs and doing flips and then coming back and
and how long you can hold your breath under the water, you know?
Exactly.
Sure.
This is totally a mermaid.
Yeah, but watching them like, and then just watching how perfect they are, not only above the water, but below the water too, is insane to me.
It's really cool. But look at that badass picture of her.
Oh my God, Sha'Carri. Yeah, that's why she is so boss every time.
Yeah.
It just didn't happen, Coleman said. Maybe we could have put in some more work. I just think in the moment it didn't happen. Andre DeGrasse put a bright mark on an otherwise disappointing Olympics by anchoring Canada to gold in a time of 37.50 seconds. It was the first medal in Paris for DeGrasse, but his 7th overall. South Africa finished 2nd and Britain 3rd. The run by Richardson and her teammates was everything the men's race was not, filled with smooth, safe passes of a rain-slickened baton, then capped off by America's fastest 100-meter runner. Oh, so she was the last person.
She's the fastest. You have to put your best at the end there, right?
The silver medalist from the 100 received the baton from Thomas in the 3rd place. By halfway point of her leg, Richardson had overcome runners from Britain and Germany. She glanced to her right and backwards and gave a look of, you're not catching me, and then took 8 more steps. On the 9th one, Richardson slammed her left foot on the ground over the finish line and let out a yell.
That's that picture.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
It is amazing. And the women are totally killing it. They're really representing us out there. It's great. So the Americans won in 41.78 seconds, good for a 0.07 second win over Britain, which struggled with 2 baton changes in the rain.
Oh my God. I mean, I can imagine that would just change everything.
100%. Yeah. The moment that I would describe is realizing that when we won as USA ladies, it was a phenomenal feeling for all of us, Richardson said. Gabby Thomas, who is also a badass.
Yeah.
Ran the 3rd leg and got her 2nd gold of the games. This one going with the 200-meter title. Twanisha Terry and her 100 bronze medalist, Melissa Jefferson, rounded out the team. The exchange between Terry and Thomas that nearly wrecked the Americans in qualifying was better this time. It marked a sweet close to the Olympics for Richardson, who came into the Olympics as a favorite, but surprisingly fell to Julian Alfred of St. Lucia. St. Lucia?
Yeah, St. Lucia. Mm-hmm. For the men, just another bad pass that will certainly lead to 4 more years of questions about a program that cannot get its act together. Some might blame it on what a late lineup change. Lyles, who ran anchor in the U.S. victory last year at World Championships, probably would have done so again at Stade de France. But that task went to Curley, and Bednarik ran 2nd. It set him up to receive the pass from Coleman. A day earlier in qualifying, Coleman handed to Curley with his right hand while grabbing Curley's arm with his left. An awkward exchange that didn't cost anything. This one did. At the end of the day, who knew what we could do, said Kyrie King, who was mired in 7th place when he finished the 3rd leg of a race where the U.S. would end up with a DQ. Dairy Queen.
Disqualification. Dairy Queen. Yeah, they got ice cream. That's the consolation prize. Here's some DQ.
We came out here and we had the mindset of no risk, no reward. So we went out there and went big. It didn't happen.
But it did for the ladies.
Oh my God. Which also, since we're talking about the Olympics.
A phenomenon.
we gotta talk about the Australian. Last night I was watching breakdancing.
Yes.
Okay, which by the way, I was really psyched that the Olympics included breakdancing. We have
breakdancing now.
Yeah, because
that's
you look at those people and the technicality of the shit they're pulling off. Like it should have been an Olympic sport a long time ago. Some of these people were amazing. We watched the end, the women who got the gold and the silver, Japan and Lithuania. It was really fun to watch. I'm glad I caught that. This morning I woke up and I did not catch any more of the I should have watched more of the competition earlier, but I didn't get to it.
Yeah. I only caught the finals.
The finals, right. And then so this morning I see the videos of this Australian. Well, for starters, I love Australia. I listen to so much music coming out of Australia. There's a lot of funny stuff coming out of Australia. Apparently, breakdancing, not the greatest thing to come out of Australia.
If that's the best,
listen, hey,
look,
I don't want to discourage that lady.
I could not do by any means.
No, and I think
but she was not Olympic level breakdancing.
I mean, like, you guys gotta watch.
amateur getting into intermediate,
Look,
maybe.
some of the moves she
I
was
don't know.
doing.
I'm not a breakdancing expert, but like you can tell the difference when you see who they're battling against, and it's like
It
wow.
was,
Some of it was. Some of the moves were so
yeah.
cringe. Like
We got
the
to
sperm
show
one,
right. Look, listen,
when she's like
and it's funny
rolling.
because I showed it to her, okay, guys.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
And at first she was like, well, come on, you can't do that stuff. And it's like, yeah, there are technical things that the lady's doing that, like,
yeah, some of her moves are not bad, but they're not like.
But they're like, she got to polish that shit up, bro. It looks
you're
like.
in the Olympics.
Yeah, maybe that's not Australia's strong suit. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's not.
I just don't know how the qualifying process is to get into the Olympics. So, like,
she was doing the sprinkler at one point.
She did do the sprinkler.
And then I was like, oh my God. She was like, listen, she probably looks like what I look like. Or she looks better than what I look like when I'm dancing.
She's a badass.
And when she does a thing where she like does the knee thing and she's like poses with the fucking chin thing, like it was very 1990s. And I understand that breakdancing is from the 80s and like, right?
Didn't she say that she was like a professor or something?
She was a professor apparently like about like dance culture and like b-boy culture and shit.
There's a professor of that?
It probably like, yeah, when you get into the nitty-gritty of, or you're trying to get a degree in dancing, like you have to break it down, history, theory, all that kind of shit. Yeah. She apparently, I mean, I should look it up. I should have prepped this. Yeah, we're not really doing our duty here as bringing you what is it that we got? The best cannabis media source. We're not doing a good job.
This is Olympics, not really cannabis, but like, we got into it because of Sha'Carri and being banned because of cannabis. But
there are also they were talking about
how badass women are.
An older breakdancer. She was like 40 in her 40s. I didn't get to see her. I'd like to see.
I want to see that person. Yeah,
her too. Hold on. She has a PhD in cultural studies.
Cultural studies.
Yeah, is a college professor. She was named the top ranked B girl by the Australia Breaking Association in 2021 and won Oceania Breaking Championships in 2023.
And in Australia, so maybe there's not very much competition there compared to like.
It's interesting because it did seem like she was good, but it was dated. Like, had this been the Olympics in like 1995,
I don't even think it's Olympic level even in 1995. She was giving like what was she giving, Jay? She was giving like she's learning and she's doing good, like she has potential to be really good, but she's still learning. That's what she was giving to me, that she wasn't like a pro that should be at the Olympics. That's just what but I only saw clips of her routine and I'm sure they put all the worst parts.
No, we saw a good stretch, a good chunk. We watched a good chunk.
I don't know.
Because at first you were like, oh, come on, you can't do that. And I was like,
no, she had some cool moves on her head.
And then later on she was like, oh, what the heck is that?
Some really cool transitions and shit. Like, but I was like, the sperm one rolling on the floor.
Yeah, I don't know. She looked a little bit like a little kid, rolling around on the floor.
All right.
Love her though.
Good job. Killing it, women.
Yeah, keep doing it. Keep doing the do.
So for our next story, back to weed.
Hell yeah.
Customers line up on Ohio's first day of recreational marijuana sales. Congratulations, Ohio.
Can I get a yeah?
Hopefully that will be us soon, having recreational sales so that more people have access and less people are getting arrested. But it's happened in Ohio. Customers lined up at dispensaries across Ohio on Tuesday for the first day of recreational marijuana sales in the state. Nearly 100 medical marijuana dispensaries were authorized to begin selling recreational marijuana to adults after receiving operating certificates this week from the state's Division of Cannabis Control. Jeffrey Reed camped out in his car so he could make the first purchase at his Cincinnati dispensary just after sunrise Tuesday. I'm pumped. I'm excited. Finally, it's legal for recreational. I've been waiting for this day for a long time, he said shortly after making the first purchase, which drew applause from store employees.
Hilarious.
Let me tell you, I'm not going to lie. The first time I got to buy like recreational weed legally it was not in another state, obviously, but it felt good. Yeah. Like it was like, wow, that's really cool that I could just do that. Like, I'm not like, do you know somebody? I have to go meet them here.
Right.
Like,
go to the gas station and do all that nonsense. Yeah. Right. Dozens also lined up outside dispensaries in Columbus and Youngstown while the first rounds of operation certificates went to 98 locations. It wasn't clear how many were ready to open the first day. Ohio voters last November approved allowing people over 21 to purchase, possess, and grow limited amounts of cannabis for personal use. But recreational sales were delayed while the state set up a regulated system for purchases and worked out other rules. The new law allows adults to buy and possess up to 2.5 ounces of cannabis and grow up to 6 plants per individual.
So nice.
I know,
so
it's
lucky.
such a gut punch.
Oh, for real.
Or 12 plants per household. But that's the thing too, like, right? They're doing it. Why can't we do it?
Because Florida's fucking backwards. Because Florida's constitution states that amendments can only be for one topic. And the Supreme Court keeps rejecting any of the amendments being put forth if it addresses more than just legalization. They're saying allowing home grow is a different topic. And that's how they've been getting it from being put on the ballot. So they had to strip it down just to that for it to even get on the past the Supreme Court to get on the ballot. Which is frustrating as fuck. It's extremely frustrating.
We can have this. We want to. We can have this.
But this is we should have this 100%. But like, if we vote yes on Amendment 3 and we get legal, it doesn't mean the fight ends. You got to keep putting your foot on the neck of our legislators to be like, okay, this isn't enough. Now we need our social equity programs. Now we need, home grow. Now we need, we need a part of social equity, expunging of records, getting people out of jail, things like that. So we just got to, which leads into, we'll mention it later, but our primaries are happening right now in the state. So I'm going to mention that in a bit. So
12 plants per household at home.
That's nice.
Legal purchases are subject to a 10% tax, with the revenue divided between administrative costs, addiction treatment, municipalities with dispensaries, and paying for social equity and jobs programs supporting the cannabis industry itself.
So congratulations, Ohio.
Yay, you did it. You did it, and you did it right.
Yeah, you guys did it right. Congratulations. You're lucky.
Vacationing
if Ohio can do it, bro, why
can't
Florida, bro? The Florida politics are so...
it's crazy.
Which is why it's important you go and vote in the primaries, okay? Because before that, let me...
Yeah, let's do it.
I love you, Miami. We're going into I love you, Miami.
Let's talk about this.
I love you, Miami.
Hey, and we're back for I Love You, Miami. So as we were saying, what's extremely important, look, the presidential election, everybody's talking about it. It's huge. But what's really important are your local elections. So you need to partake in your primaries and
that affects you more immediately than the other stuff.
100%. And as an example is we were not able to get any bills through our current legislature in Florida because, we don't have candidates there on board completely with cannabis. So that's why we are going through the route of having to put it on a petition and us pass it through voting, which is limiting us to have all the things that we want. So it's really important that you guys, right now our primaries are happening. This episode's airing on the 14th. You have until the 17th to vote early. And August 20th is actually election day. So do your research, get your sample ballot, do your research on your candidates, see who you feel identifies more with what you want in this country and your state, and do your civic duty and vote, because that's how things happen.
Right. It don't happen from you sitting on your butt. 100%. You got to get up and at least go check a thing off at the ballot.
100%. And it's local elections are more important than any. So I actually caught a live of Suncoast Normal, and they were talking about the primaries, and then they gave their recommendations of who they endorse for the different spots that are coming up on the ballot between the state and in the federal. So we're going to flash that up on the screen. If you want to see it, you can screen capture or take a picture or whatever. This is what they recommend based on cannabis policies. This is who they recommend. This is specifically for the primaries. Once the primaries are done and then we know who the candidates are. You
can't vote for any of these people anymore, right? Like this, you only get to vote for them at the primary.
Well, at the primary determines if they're going to be the candidate to go on for the general election. Right. So this is their recommendations based on the primary candidates. And then once those are, the winners are determined, they'll give another set of recommendations based on who the candidates are. Yeah. So yeah, please Go vote. It's important.
Exercise your civic duty.
That's right. All right. So I thought this was a fun story. We have fun, silly stories every once in a while.
As a matter of fact, there's a TV show I was telling you that's really funny. I watched like the first episode or two. It's Craig Robinson, and it's about this. It's about the pythons.
Here, you be yellow.
Hundreds of snake hunters take part in annual Florida Python Challenge designed to curb invasive species. Each contestant has a chance to win up to $10,000. Yo, we need to start hunting some of these motherfucking pythons, bitch. At the end of the 10-day competition, according to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission.
So it's like $1,000 a day if you win.
Yeah, you can win up to 10,000. Hey, man, I'll take a few thousand, bro, at this point. The annual Florida Python Challenge is here as the state continues its efforts to curb the population of invasive Burmese pythons. Hundreds of snake hunters are currently registered for this year's 10-day hunt, which began Friday, August 9th, according to a news release from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation. I keep wanting to say conversation.
I thought it too. Conservation Commission. I wonder if Rob from Love Island will be there. There was this one guy on Love Island that he's a snake wrangler. That's his job. Like, and he's from
everybody turned that into something sexual.
Yeah,
of course,
he
I'm
has
sure.
like a tattoo of a snake, I think he's from Alabama. He's like a farm boy from Alabama or something like that.
Is he cute or something?
Oh my God, he's so cute.
Okay, that helps.
Yeah, it does. So each contestant, he's kind of a douche though.
Okay, that
like a little. Each contestant has a chance to win up to $10,000 for removing the most pythons throughout the multi-day competition, which ends on Sunday, August 18th. In addition to catching the most pythons, participants at the novice, professional, and military levels, can also earn prizes for the longest python removed. In a statement, Alligator Ron Bergeron, governing board member of the South Florida Water Management District, said the challenge is a great way to get the public involved in understanding the unique Everglades ecosystem. Which it is. That's awesome.
Look, listen, I think this is super cool.
Yeah.
They're an invasive
It's sad
species.
they're killing them, but it's not
an invasive
They
species.
are invasive, but it's not their fault.
Okay, but listen, we need to have things work in a certain way.
I know.
And in order for our ecosystem to even exist, it has to work harmoniously.
Okay, but it says catching. So I don't think they kill them.
Well, okay. They don't put the specifics of what is done with them. I don't know.
It says hundreds of snake hunters. Hunters implies, I think, killing. But then it says catching the most pythons.
All right. It is open to interpretation. If you want to get the specific of
maybe they're not killing them.
I do think that it's an interesting way to open up the conversation to about our ecosystem.
It's important, yeah.
I mean, look, and we've talked about
they were just released in the wild because people couldn't handle them.
Look at the iguana problem we have currently. I always use this as
Florida's rats.
Rule of thumb. Yeah, Florida's rats.
Florida's rats.
True.
100%.
I never thought about that, but it's like, yo, it is a problem. It is not like,
I feel bad for them still though when people kill them.
I know. But it's also a problem that people had them as pets and then let them out in the wild when that's not,
If you're not going to take care of a pet properly, don't get it.
Yeah. So that's a cool story.
Yeah, that was fun. This is a less fun story, but So I saw this and I was like, I wonder. So a couple years ago, a year ago, they announced that PragueU was approved to be used.
Sounds like a tomato sauce.
Or PragueU was approved to be used in Florida classrooms, which is like a very right conservative like curriculum that kind of whitewashes history and stuff like that. So it was very concerning that Florida had approved it to be curriculum for them to teach. It's like
get rid of books,
it's supplemental curriculum.
Take money away from public schools.
Take books away. Give
someone that mess.
So basically this article is like, hey, is Florida using this now that they're allowed to? So once described as a free alternative to the dominant left-wing ideology in culture, media, and education, PragueU now portrays its mission online more simply as promoting American values. 1 year after Florida became the first state in the country to allow the company's sometimes controversial right-leaning kids content to be used as teaching material in public schools, the content is still allowed in classrooms across the Sunshine State. A spokesperson from Florida's Department of Education stated in an email that its lessons, which promote conservative viewpoints of civics and history, align with Florida's revised civics and government standards. PragerU Kids is no different than many other resources, which can be used as supplemental materials in Florida at district discretion, the spokesperson added. In other words, teachers can use a material if their districts allow it.
But we've discovered Florida school districts are largely staying away from PragerU Kids, which on its website states woke agenda are infiltrating classrooms, culture, and social media.
I'm glad they're staying away from it. That says that on their website.
Yeah, woke agenda.
Come on, woke agenda,
It's
infiltrating
ridiculous.
classrooms. Oh, come on.
We contacted dozens of districts around the state, from rural to urban, conservative to liberal, and asked district if they're allowing teachers to use PragerU Kids in the classroom. Not a single district that responded to us said yes. I feel like even though the system's fucked up, we have really good teachers that are in the system, and they're trying to do the best they can with what they got.
Thank goodness.
So,
not using it.
I mean, I love my school. Our district,
school's good too.
Yeah. Our district has not purchased any materials from PragerU and has no plans to purchase it, a spokesperson from Hillsborough County Schools told us. According to the district spokesperson, the content hasn't been included in any instructional resources in Palm Beach County. The same was true in Lee County, Manatee County, Leon County, and nearly a dozen other school districts we heard back from.
They didn't mention Dade or Broward.
I know, but
did they ask them? Maybe they didn't respond. I want to know. There's been no pressure put on us by anyone at the state level to say you must adopt this, explained Superintendent Fred Hyde in Polk County, a rural and conservative county between Tampa and Orlando. Hyde explained his district's decision not to offer PragerU Kids content has nothing to do with politics. Many of us looked at that software and their online programs and video snippets and everything that came with that. It's just kind of a mixed bag. We don't adopt parts of curriculum. We adopt them as a whole, he explained. But those concerned about PragerU's content sees its lack of use in Florida as a sign in a state that continues to be criticized for turning public classrooms into political battlefields. 100%.
Rachel Laser is the executive director of Americans United for Separation of Church and State. I think there's a backlash that's happening across this country, she said. It's not the role of public schools to be claiming something about church-state separation and religious freedom and, whitewashing history and denying basic science and climate change.
Oh my God.
It's gone too far, Laser said.
Mm-hmm.
PragerU content has been approved with at least 6 other states. We requested an interview with PragerU, but the company has not responded.
That is kind of relieving to me to hear that at least from the districts that respond, they're not using it. As much as
the stuff that we've read, when it comes to like personal experiences, I have to say, like, not only is the school been really attentive to the students, I feel like the teachers are made of it. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's something harmonious happening, and I don't feel like some of this stuff is seeping into, even though it's like they talk about it a lot. I don't know. Maybe upstate, maybe up northern Florida has a more
I mean, other counties are more
but here we've been, and then the book thing, like, I don't know, we're so into reading and like, we haven't seen much of like the book banning stuff everybody's talking about. Like,
no, they did take it out of all the libraries.
Yeah,
they had to like slowly put back what was approved.
But at the same token,
because I remember going into my kids' library and not seeing any books in the shelves.
Oh, I don't know. I've never seen that. There's always books available and
screening them all. Yeah,
I mean, I even see books like personal teacher libraries that they have there for the kids to read.
They were not allowed to have those either. They had to pull those.
So I don't know.
Confirmed that all the books they had in there were approved.
Yeah, and you know what? As parents, look, school is only half of the education they're receiving. We're doing most of the other, hopefully. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're a good parent, like you're actually paying attention to your kid and what they need, we're doing a lot of that too. So honestly, when it comes to school, you can ban the books all you want. I will make that available if I feel that it's necessary for my kid to have. So, at the end of the day, we're also part of their education, and we need to do what we can on our end.
100% for sure. So we reached the end of the show. Next week, we're going to have David Beadenstock on for our great moment of, for our interview.
Yeah,
he is the host of Great Moments in Weed History, a fantastic podcast that
one of
talks
our
about
favorite
exactly
podcasts.
that. Great moments in weed history.
Exactly.
So you should check out that interview. We had a lot of fun interviewing him. This is a re-air. It was a while back, but you know.
Yeah, they're a popular podcast. Please check
Yes.
them out if you haven't. And we have a great time with him. Please check it out. We talk about his show and other moments where he's talked to Tucker Carlson. I mean, it goes on and on. It's
About
really fun. So
So
please
tune in
check
next
out
week
next
for that.
week. Hey, we love you listening. Thank you so much for giving us your ears, your
Oh, I
time.
forgot to take this off.
We really appreciate our patrons, Yanni,
Destiny,
Lauren,
Christy,
Denise,
Peaches,
Meredith,
Angelina,
Jenny,
Catherine,
Jesse,
Diane,
Gabby,
Leslie,
and
and Stephanie.
Stephanie.
Thank you guys. We could not do this without you guys. That's not even like a lie. That's 100% true.
And we're looking forward to hanging by the pool with you
guys, because
soon.
many of you will be there. Looking forward to
Yes.
it. Become a patron for early access to episodes
You
or
do it.
additional content, our access to our Discord service, first to hear about all of our events, exclusive mom trips, all that good stuff.
Friendship.
Yeah.
Subscribe, rate, review, and share our content. Potsmokingmoms.com. We love you. See ya.
Bye. See you next week.